Hi, welcome to the LaserMATIC10 assembly video. This one is for the fully enclosed version of the machine. If you purchase the more traditional open design, there's going to be another video for that, and we will leave a link below. Your user manual lays out all the assembly steps in detail, but for those of you who prefer a video format, this one is going to be a good guide, and it's going to contain all the same information as your user manual. Before getting started, it helps to lay out all the parts on the table and familiarize yourself with the parts as well as the hardware and tools involved with this assembly. So for this assembly process, we need 3 different types of screws and 2 different Allen keys. And they can be found in the accessories box labeled important items. Now let's get started. The first step is to install this X-axis gantry. So we just take the gantry and place it gently on the Y-axis. Put it down. Now it's fine for it to rest like this. Then we want to take the screws. These are the C screws, and it's 2 on each side. And we want to screw on the right side first and then the left. Now I'm going to be using an electric screwdriver, but it's the same thing as the Allen key included in your kit. Once that's done, it's time to plug in the cables for the X-axis. Now we want to plug in the stepper cable here, and also this consolidated cable. Now when plugging in this cable, it's important to make sure the connectors kind of go in straight, because in rare instances, if you're not careful, the pins inside the connector can get bent, and that will cause malfunction with the laser, for example. But it should just snap in like this. Next, it's time to hook up the air assist tube. So we want to take one end of the tube. It might be inside the Y-axis channel like this. So you just want to unfurl the tube and take it and pass it through the hole on the back of the machine to the outside. On the other end, we take the tube and we pass it through these 2 points on the X-axis. Just like so. Ooh. Before threading it through here on the laser module, and then hooking it up to the air assist nozzle itself. Next, we want to move the laser module from side to side just to make sure the air assist tube has enough slack. So when I move it to the extreme right end of its range of motion, it should look more or less like this. This is enough slack for the air assist tube. And then when we move it to the left side, we want to make sure there is some slack over here as well. Next, we want to install the enclosure panels. First, we're going to install the 2 side panels, and then the back panel with the exhaust fan, and finally the top cover, which is the largest piece. The side panels are going to be straightforward. It's just 4 screws, 2 up front and 2 on the back. And the side panels and the back panels all use the B screws, so M4 by 10 millimeters. Now time to do the other side. I should mention the 2 side panels are not symmetrical. The one on the left side has this hole for the camera USB cable at the back here. Next is time to install the back panel. The back panel has 4 screws on either side. That's going to be 2 on the back and 2 up top. Now before we screw anything on, we just want to make sure none of the enclosure wires are tinged like this. So we just want to make sure the back panel is not pinching any wires and it's just sitting nice and flat on the side panels. Now I'm going to do the back screws on either side before I do the top. Next, it's time to connect the 3 enclosure wires. The 2 wires on either side are going to be for the light bars, while the one in the center is for the exhaust fan. Now these wires, they only go in one way, so you just want to watch out for that. I'm trying to stay out of the way of the camera, but for you guys it won't be this awkward. So that's 2, and then the last one. Finally, it's time to install the top cover panel. Now it has these hooks here, so it has to first go from the top at an angle before being laid flat. So I'll just show that now. And when we do this, you want to make sure the camera USB cable is on the inside of the machine. So it just goes in at a slight angle like this, and then it can be laid flat, and the cable goes on the other side. Now we want to secure the top panel to the hinges, right? And this is going to be using the A screws, the longest screws included in your kit. So with these, I just like to put the screws on halfway, but not tighten them all the way down. So I'll first do that. So all the screws are in, but the cover panel is still loose. And I just want to take time here to make sure that it's about lined up correctly before tightening the screws down. Now this next detail is very important. We want to make sure when the enclosure is in its fully closed position that these little posts in the front of the enclosure here is actually triggering the switch here, you see. So when it's fully closed, we want to make sure it's pressing on the trigger. If it's not pressing on the trigger, then the laser will not fire. This is a safety feature with the machine. So right now it's perfect. Now with newer versions of the machine, we switched to actually a magnetic switch here. So this is no longer going to be something that we need to pay as close attention to. Now come the last step, which is to cable manage the USB camera cable. So there's a pre-positioned zip tie on the back panel here. So we just want to take the camera cable and pass it through this zip tie and tighten down the zip tie. We don't want to leave too much slack here, so we want to make sure the cable is somewhat taut before tightening the zip tie. And then we want to pass this cable through these cable tie down points here. So there's one up top like this, and then there's two on the back. So now this cable is nice and tidy. We just want to take the connector and pass it through the hole in the side panel. Yep, so just like that, and we're done. Well, that concludes the assembly process for the LaserMATIC10. I hope that video was clear. If you have any questions about any of these steps, please feel free to contact us. We offer support over email, and also we can do a 30-minute video call troubleshooting session, so that will hopefully answer any questions you have about the assembly process. Thank you and good luck.